Before we went on our first celebrity cruise, I was so curious to know what the food was going to be like on the ship. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Before we do that, I did want to mention that this is part two of a four-part series on our experience on the Celebrity Silhouette. So you want to go back and check out our room tour if you want to see what our balcony stateroom looked like. And then also I did another video last week about the best places to hang out on the Celebrity Silhouette. So before we get in and talk specifically about dining, I wanted to start off by giving a little background about what some of the main or included dining options are, especially the ones that we went to. So there are a few others that I will touch base on later, but I don't feel super comfortable going in depth with those because those are not places that we personally experience. So the main dining options are going to be up at the Ocean View Cafe and then also Grand Cuvee. And lastly, you can also do in-room dining as an option as well. So those are all included with the price of whatever you've paid to be on that cruise. So those are the main ones that I'm going to be covering today. And like I said, I am going to sprinkle in some details about some of the others that maybe we walked past or we ate at once, but I'm not going to go super in depth with those because I don't feel like I have as much information to share. So let's talk about Grand Cuvee. That is located between the third and fourth floors on the ship. And this is going to offer a sit-down dining experience. So it's kind of a nice time to set aside to go have your drinks, your appetizers, your main course, and your dessert. So it's not somewhere you want to go if you are short on time. Say you have a show scheduled that you need to get to. You want to plan out, I would say we were there for generally an hour and a half to 2 hours, maybe even a little more some evenings. So it's definitely a slower dining experience, which is a little bit different than say if you're running up to Ocean View Cafe, which I will talk more about in just a few minutes. The menu changes each evening aside from the timeless selections that you will see on the right-hand side of the menu. For example, you'll see a new selection of items on the left side of the menu, and then on the right side, you will see, say we're talking about starters, then you'll see the timeless starters offered on the right side of the menu. And those items are going to stay the same throughout the duration of your cruise. Some examples of the timeless starters from our particular cruise were things like the Caesar salad and the French onion soup. They do the same thing with the entrees as well. So you'll notice your entrees on the left and then I think it's on the left for the entrees. Don't quote me on that. But they're both on the menu. You have your regular entrees and then you have your timeless entrees. That way you have the option of trying something new each evening that's maybe a little bit more adventurous than what you're used to. Or you can default to the timeless option, say it's something that you've had on that cruise or a prior cruise that you know that you love. So it's nice to have the option of the things that are changing and then some things that are constant that you can fall back on if you do have a favorite. Some of the timeless options that were offered on our cruise are things like the sirloin steak. I think there was a broiled salmon and baked chicken breast. We really loved dining at Cuvee, and we also really enjoyed our server. Her name was Utami, and she was from Bali. And she was just such a pleasure to chat with, and she really got to know us by the end of the cruise, and we felt like we got to know her as well, almost like family. So that for us was something that was really special about the dining at Grand Cuvee. And I think if we were to cruise again, then we wouldn't do it any other way. We really enjoyed that experience. We enjoyed taking some time to just sit down in the evenings, kind of have a slower dining experience and just take the time as a family to kind of come together. And also, like I said, we did enjoy having that connection with our server as well. Now let's talk about the Ocean View Cafe. So in contrast to Grand Cuvee, this is going to be a buffet style situation. So they are open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And the benefit of that is if you are pressed for time, if you have an excursion or if you have something planned in the evening, then you can go in, you can grab your stuff, you can sit down and you can eat, or you can take it with you. We stayed in a balcony stateroom, so that was really nice. If we wanted to just sit out on the balcony together and enjoy our time, we, especially for lunches, would just pop up there, we'd grab our lunch, and then we would take it back down to our room and hang out there. I want to give a special shout out to the pizza there. It was amazing and almost always available. Also, the soft serve ice cream. That was really great. Our kids especially loved getting that throughout the day for a snack. I also wanted to mention that utilizing room service is another great option on the ship. We did that for breakfast each day by filling out this little card that was left in our room by housekeeping, and we would just fill out what we wanted. We would hang it on the outside of our door, and then we would select the time that we wanted the food to be delivered, and then we'd wake up to breakfast at our door. So that was really, really convenient. I don't think I would do that any other way. We were all able to just eat breakfast in our pajamas, sit out on the balcony and watch the ocean, or wherever we were, whatever the port of call was that day, we were able just to kind of sit out there and enjoy the sights and scenery. So if you're wondering what kinds of things you can order on there, I wish I had taken a picture of the menu, but I'm just going to talk a little bit about what we would get each day just to kind of give you an idea. We generally would get some croissants, some fruit, some yogurt, bagels with cream cheese. They did offer a milk alternative, so I would get soy milk each day, and then my kids liked getting the orange juice and the cranberry juice, and my husband really enjoyed getting his coffee. So that's just kind of an idea of some of the things that are offered. There's definitely more than those things that are offered, and I think that, like I said, the convenience of eating breakfast in your pajamas, looking out at beautiful scenery, just can't be beat. So they do have, like I mentioned, breakfast up in the Ocean View Cafe, and you can just pop up there, and you could also bring your stuff down if you wanted to do that. But I just think it's a lot easier and more convenient just to wake up and open your door and have breakfast there waiting for you. Now you can use in-room dining not only just for breakfast, but for lunch, dinner, late night snacks. We did not use it during those times, mainly because we didn't feel like we needed to. We, like I said, usually had a pretty big dinner at Grand Cuvee, and then the buffet would be open later. So if you wanted to go up and grab some soft serve ice cream or a slice of pizza or some pasta, it just felt like there was always other options available. But if you wanted a cozy night in, then you could also use the in-room dining for that too. Now, two other places that I wanted to mention are the Spa Cafe and the Mast Grill. Now, those are options that are included, but those are things that we actually did not utilize, mainly because the grill was out on the pool deck or above the pool deck. But we really did not spend any time at the pool. I mentioned in another one of my videos, it was really crowded at the pool during the day. So we spent our days doing some other things. So we just never really hung out there and never really used the opportunity to go and try out the food. However, I did hear that they have really great burgers. So I think that if you did want to grab a lounge chair and grab, some quick food, that would be a great option for you. Also, the Spa Cafe, I really wanted to check out. Apparently, they have some great smoothies. Now, something to be mindful of is that they do have some selections that are included with your the cruise fare. However, there's some smoothies and things that might be outside of your beverage package, and you would have to pay an additional fee for. So it just depends on whether or not you got the beverage package and which beverage package you have. So that's just something to keep in mind if you do check out the Spa Cafe. Now, there were some other dining options that would cost a fee. So that just means they were not included in the cost of the cruise. It would be at an added expense. One of those is Le Petit Chef. And I actually really did want to check this out, but the reservations were not available. Additionally, we really felt like we just were getting so much out of other dining experiences that we just couldn't really justify the cost of going and paying more money for an experience when we felt like the experience we were having was good. Now, having said that, we didn't test the waters, so maybe it would have blown us away and we would be like, oh, of course we would spend our money on this again. But I just felt like we were all really happy doing what we were doing, and I just didn't feel the need for it. But the Le Petit Chef experience did look really, really fun. I guess it's like this small animated chef that is kind of like hovering over your table and preparing your food, and I'm not entirely sure how it all works, but it looks really, really neat. I'm sure that my kids would have loved it. So I think if we were to do a longer cruise, then we definitely would check that out. But we were only on for 4 nights, and I felt like we were just kind of getting in a groove by our 4th night. And additionally, when I did look for reservations, they only had later night reservations available. And since we were traveling as a family, that just wasn't going to work for us. So Between there not being good reservations available and just the cost, it just didn't make sense for us on this cruise. But I do think it looks really neat. So if you are, looking for something a little more adventurous, something more fun, maybe you're on a longer cruise and you want to switch things up for your dining experience, Le Petit Chef is definitely something worth looking into. Okay, I'm going to talk about a few other places that were available for a fee. We did not eat there, but I do feel like they're worth mentioning in case you want to switch up your dining experience while you're on the ship. There's Sushi on 5, which is actually right across from the AlBaccio Cafe. I talked about that a couple of videos ago, so go watch that if you want to hear about the best places to hang out on the Celebrity Silhouette. But yeah, the Sushi on 5 is there. Again, this is for a fee. There's also a place called The Porch. There's a place called Murano, Tuscan Grill, and I feel like I'm forgetting one more, the Lawn Club Grill as well. So those are all some places on the ship that you can go if you want to switch up your dining experience a little bit. But like I said, we actually did not have the time or really feel the need to do that whenever we were on our cruise. Okay, one place that I mentioned just a second ago, AlBaccio Cafe. Like I said, I did mention this in another video, but that was probably one of our favorite places to go in the evening. You could get a glass of wine, you could get some coffee, some tea. Also, across from AlBaccio is this great gelato place. I should add that the gelato, unlike the soft serve ice cream up in Oceanside Cafe or Ocean View Cafe, the gelato is for a fee, so just something to keep in mind. But I felt like it was worth the fee. We did that at least 2 or 3 nights of our 4-night cruise. Oh, and the other thing about AlBaccio is they have great little like mini desserts. So if you wanted like a macaroon or like a little piece of pie or just little small sweet treats, that was a great place to get it to. And for me, I think a nice coffee with a small little dessert is like the perfect way to end the evening. So, and usually when you're sitting out there, you can hear the live music that's going on as well. So it's just a great way, nice relaxing way to end each evening. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video to be helpful, we would very much appreciate it if you gave it a like and of course, subscribe to our channel. We put out new videos like this every Sunday in hopes to inspire you and also in hopes to give you some insider information and details for your trips that we had wished that we had had prior to ours.